Today we're going to look at a LENOVO E490s won't charge. As you can see here, the USB-C power going in is not jumping up to 20 volts no matter what I do. It stays at 5. When I press the power button, it does draw 2 amps, which is 11 watts. But at 5 volts, that's a problem. So I read online that it's a likely issue is the charging IC. So I've ordered a 5-pack online, AliExpress, and it's the RTS 5455 IC. So we're going to take a look at that today and see if that fixes the problem. Not going to break out the microscope yet. We'll do that in a few minutes. So what it looks like is this is the USB-C port. I forgot to mention that I changed the USB-C port already, thinking that that was the issue. So the USB-C port's been replaced, and that didn't fix the issue. So it's somewhere in this area. I'm not going to look for it yet, but I know the chip is somewhere one of these in this area. So we're going to figure that out soon. Battery comes out first. Very simple for the rest, just the ribbon cables and additional screws. Nothing really tricky on this one, except for the fact that the motherboard is sitting underneath the hinge over here. This I/O board doesn't need to come out, so just need to flip back this hinge over here. And she's out. All right, well, that wasn't too hard to find. So we'll take a look at the replacement chip. We got the Realtek RTS 5455, whatever. With just a tiny bit of looking around. Get the microscope out in a minute. We got it's upside down, but you'll survive. RTS 5455, so we got the chip right there. So, and you can see there is a little bit of burn on the chip. So I don't know if that means that this is where the chip was getting super hot and burnt out or not, but I would guess so. So let's see if we can get this out. That's a little better. Now we can see the chip a little bit better. We're going to throw on about, well, it's heating up, but we're going to throw it up to 430 degrees Celsius with an airflow of 3. Is that the perfect temperature for this? I don't know, but maybe. I'm going to use a very small tip on the hot air gun. I'm just going to prime the board. I don't know if that's the right terminology either. We're going to prep the board, preheat the board. I don't think there's a need to use a preheater on this board for this. So we're just going to heat up all the surrounding areas, get the board up to a nice temperature. So when we do try and heat up that chip to 430, that the rest of the board won't be cooling it down too quickly, and it'll just resolder itself. All right, the board probably pretty warm, so we're gonna go ahead and throw some flux on this chip. Why is there a piece of copper on the tip of my flux? I cannot tell you that, but that just seems like it's going to cause problems, so we'll get rid of that. So I'm going to use these nifty, I don't know what they're called, forceps maybe? I don't know. But I never really use these actually, but why not give it a try today? So I'm going to give this a nice clamp on the chip, only using 2 of them. Maybe we'll go dead center on the chip, and I did not expect that to happen. That was crazy. Okay, I guess I was using the heating gun a little too close without realizing it, but that just came off nice. So let's work on getting some leaded solder in there. All right, we're gonna clean this up a little bit. So looks like no pads damaged, obviously, because it just floated off, so that was kind of cool. So blow some air on that. Let's dry that off real quick. All right, it looks clean. So let's let's take off this unleaded solder, throw on some leaded solder so the new chip would go on just nice. I'm tempted to actually just put the chip on the way it is, because if the solder melted that easy, you know what? Let's go nuts today. Let's just have a fun day. Let's put this chip on using the solder that's there. Let's remember we were working with the letters facing that way. So we have the new chip here. We'll throw some flux all around here with this unleaded but seemingly low temperature solder. Still don't know how that happened. I'm still kind of in shock that it came off with very, very little heat, but we'll find out in a minute. So we'll position this very delicately in place till it looks perfect. That looks nice and centered. So I will apply a little bit of pressure while melting this, and we'll see what happens. Okay, we got the board preheated just a little bit. I'm gonna grab let's grab something different, something that I like to use to hold it in place. Let's adjust this a little bit. So the board is warm all around it. So we're gonna put a tiny bit of pressure on the chip, and we're gonna go in hard with 430 at a flow of 3. We're gonna wait to see that solder look like it got a little melted up. Let's see when we start to see a little extra shiny. Not too confident I'm going to see it on this one. Let's see what we got. Once I see everything go a little shiny, it looks like the solder is melted. I'm going to leave it on for an extra 5 seconds because we have all that solder underneath the chip that needs to solder in place. So I think I saw it just happen. Don't know if you caught that or not. So let's give it 5 seconds from here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Give that a couple of seconds to, that only needs 1 second, but we'll give it a couple of seconds anyway. So let's see if this chip is on here. And that seems rock solid. Give it a nice hard pull, nice tough pull. Not looking good. Get some alcohol, it's clean. Oh, wrong chip. We'll get some alcohol, we'll clean this up. Clean up the area. And dry it off a little bit. No need to use a hot air for that, but we're gonna use some hot air just to blow it off, blow that alcohol off a little bit. I think there's still quite a bit of flux in there, it looks like. We'll hit that again with a little bit more alcohol. Clean that off. And blow it off a little bit. Make it look nice and clean. All right, we'll continue to blow that off and see how it looks. I invite you all to witness the testing. I didn't put all the screws back in yet, but just enough screws to watch the laptop work. And holy moly, we got 20 volts at 2.3 amps or so. So we got 47 watts going in. So you know what? 47 watts going in. I think that's charging the battery, which was our original problem. So what does everyone think? Figures my iPhone ran out of storage in the middle of that video. So laptop turned on. Before, when it would attempt to turn on, it would be stuck at 5 volts. So it's powered on, looking normal. And we're at 45 watts, 19 volts at 2.2 amps. Looks like it's charging the battery. So let's log into this computer and see what's going on. 19% charged after all that time we've been leaving it here. We're still at about 51 watts being put in, so the real moment of truth will be nothing. We're at 20%, and it's still running, so I think we're good. So shows low battery, obviously, because it's 20%, but that's good. The laptop wouldn't turn on before. Obviously, it wouldn't hold the charge, it wouldn't turn on, so I'd say this is successful. We're going to download the some apps to check the battery in detailed health, charge it up to 100%, see how it performs, and call this one a fix.